Hello and greetings fellow StarCrafters, and welcome back to game number 3 between the Red Terran LiquidTLO and the Purple Terran ESC Goody. I am a huge fan of purple. It's probably my favorite color. I really like, I guess, the way it looks. And I'm just a big fan of purple in general. It is oftentimes derided as a feminine color, but, you know, it was the color of royalty in France, also the color of the Vikings, but, you know, that has less to do with it in general, about why I like it. Look, you can see that the little one is back to his normal shenanigans. He is back to a blazing red. Red is also a very nice color, I have to say, although a little sick of it after seeing it in the ladder all these times. I guess that's part of the reason why I like purple as well, as, you know, you don't see it in the ladder quite so much. In the previous game, wow, like, I cannot believe that the game ended that quickly. It was essentially, it wasn't, I guess the little one was probably planning for a push like that, and I don't know if he was trying to abuse the lack of APM of his opponent, maybe with knowledge that Goody is not quite so high in the APM scale than a typical player. And actually, I'm going to try to get the little APM tab out at some point, not right now, because right now the only APM that people are doing is spamming APM, and possibly worker micro. I do know that the little one likes to micro his workers, so that all the ones that are on closer patches have two, which is definitely good practice to get into, as it just, it's one way to actually increase your APM in the early game. That's not just spamming something, you know, you're actually accomplishing something. So I think that's important. And, yeah, but I don't know if he, we'll see if, I don't know if that was just like a build designed to abuse the fact that Goody has trouble kind of doing multiple things at once. As you saw, he actually fell behind a little bit on the macro level, as he only had one factory producing, which at 15 minutes in the game is just, like, untenable. Like, you can't produce Vikings that slowly. It's just not a very good plan. We see that neither player is actually going for a reactor first. That's another weird thing actually I do want to mention real quick. So they're going for regular barracks first schedules. But in the previous game, Goody decided to go for reactor first, but he didn't actually drop Hellions. He looks like those SCVs are duked out with the little drills. He just got Blue Flame Hellions, and he didn't do anything with them. He did do a little rush, I will say, and that rush could have been effective had the little one not had that bunker up in time, and also the little one's control was very good. I think I missed the very opening segments of that little combat, but the little one was able to spot it, get a bunker down, and then he was able to keep that SCV alive by microing Hellions and Marines behind it and keeping them spread out so that they only took one hit from the Hellions, so that even though his Hellions, which were red flames, were inferior to Goody's Blue Flame Hellions, he was in fact able to, do some significant damage. And maybe Goody was just hoping to catch him off guard, hopefully not, walling off that entire area. And, if the little one hadn't responded quite correctly, he could have lost a lot of workers, and that could have done a lot of damage. But it was just, I guess, an interesting choice. Typically, if you see Blue Flame Hellions that early, especially from a reactor first, then it's not just going to be a kind of Blue Flame Hellion rush, it's actually just going to be a Blue Flame Hellion drop. We see the little one actually got 100 gas, pulled his workers off, got his command center, and is now starting a factory, very similar to Zerg players, which will get the 100 energy, get the 100 gas and get anabolic boost which is speed for Zerglings, get the Zergling speed, and then help them out there. Now, the little one's barracks actually was built in a fairly normal spot. It was built right here, which is just in case he needed to wall off, but he is in fact scouting with that again. I guess he really likes doing that. It is easier than using a scan, and it remains to be seen if he's going to be able to swing up here and scout out the factory. Most likely he will, as I think Goody does have 3 Marines right here, but he doesn't have them over it. I don't think he's even spotted the barracks yet, and is now just coming into view. So Goody will probably be responding by sending Marines over. I would say that the little one is probably sacrificing it. Oh, nice spot on the Hellion right there. I would say that it's probably sacrificing it, but we've seen his control before, and he's actually probably going to find a way to save it. He seemed to do that. He actually almost did it twice, but it died right as it burned to the ground. So, barely able to not save it there, unfortunately, for the little one. Little one is also scaling Hellions of his own. I don't think either player actually has a tech lab on their factory. Oh, nice scout. He's actually able to see that Blue Flame is not, in fact, on the way, or at least not yet. There is a Viking going up from Goody that would mostly be from protection against Banshees, but we don't see any Banshees, at least not quite yet, coming up from the little one. The little one's actually adding a second factory, so it looks like he's going to try to expand and be a little more macro-oriented. The starport is going to be for defense from Banshees for his mechanized force, as for Mech Terrans, Vikings are basically your only defense against air, as Thors just are a little too slow, and they're effective, but you have to have an armory for them and so on. Looks like the little one did in fact land his barracks right outside there. Not in particular location. I guess he could scout a push coming around this side, but the other reason that he moved it over there is that it's easy to move back into position to be able to take another gander at Goody's base. Looks like TLO is going to be taking that expansion right now. I believe is that Goody's command center? Yeah, Goody's command center was actually very delayed. Wow, I didn't realize it was... Well, I guess the little one did do a very fast expansion, and it hasn't been done for that period of time. I think it's only been done to generate 33 energy. I think that was its first mule. I might be wrong by that. So I think that Goody should actually probably be planning some sort of fairly early kind of push-off attack. I think that's be kind of what he wants to plan. And looks like that barracks probably is going to get saved. It remains to be seen if he has good scouting intel. He does in fact know that the little one has expanded. He was able to get, oh, he had the Hellion that was stuck back there, I think. Was able to spot the timing of the expansion, so it was good work on his part. Although, if he's got Marines and Siege Tanks right now. If he pushes out with that, the Marines are just going to die to the Blue Flame Hellions, which are these Blue Flame? No, these are regular Flame Hellions, aren't they? Yeah, they are regular Flame Hellions. They only do 14 damage. So actually, they wouldn't die super quickly, and it looks like Goody is in fact going to be moving out. Siege mode is going to be just finished. I think his force is just a little bit too small, though, to really deal enough damage. The Siege Tanks are quite fearsome, as the little one basically only has Hellions and a couple of Marines to be able to deal with them. But the Viking counts are fairly similar, and he can pull SCVs. Once he takes out all the Marines, SCVs are quite good at dealing with, well, I guess not sieged up tanks, but they are good at dealing up with regular tanks. Looks like these forces are in siege command, and actually I think... I mean, in contrast to what I just said, basically, nice repair right there on his Viking. I think this push is going to do a decent amount of damage, but I don't think the little one is going to die from this, or at least he shouldn't die to this. It remains to be seen how the micro exactly is going to work itself out, and it looks like the Goody is actually Goody is actually being very careful right now. A Thor is going to come out from the little one, though, and I think that's going to be able to basically deal with the rest of this threat. The little one, I think, should actually run his SCVs across. Oh, no, but he's letting him get a third. Oh, he's got 2 Thors. Wow, I didn't realize he was building 2 Thors at once. So that's what he was waiting for the attack. Able to fry the majority of the Marines before the barracks finished. Nice target firing on the Thors. Able to take down the siege tanks very rapidly. The bunkers, rather, did finish and were able to get some Marines in, but not able to quite do too much there. And those Thors proved to be quite impressive and able to take out the rest of Goody's force. So Goody is actually very far behind right now. He is now down by 24 supply. He's also down by 9 workers, and his expansion hasn't even been taken yet. So that shows you how far behind he is. However, he does have a bunch of mules sitting in that orbital command. I don't know if he was saving the scans or if he's just having problems macroing at this point in time. But he should be dropping those mules fairly quickly, as he's not going to need that many scans. There are 3 Thors now for the little one. They look particularly scary because they're the cool collector's edition ones that I talked about earlier. A bunker is going up for Goody. Kind of interesting placement. I think it's to protect kind of both sides against this sort of intrusion. Meanwhile, the siege tanks are going to be able to give it quite a variety of range as well. However, he still only has 1 factory, actually, and that's going to really hurt. For a meching Terran to only have 1 factory, factory units produce so slowly. Is it a... Where is that factory? Okay, it is a sieged factory, and it's producing Hellions. Or not a siege, a tech-led factory, it's producing Hellions. So I think this attack is going to deal a lot of damage to Goody right now. He is going to get forces inside. However, forces inside the bunker, there's a lot of SCVs being pulled. He's going to have to attack with those SCVs. Unfortunately, the Thors are dealing a lot of damage, blasting apart these SCVs. I think actually Goody is just dead. I don't think he can muster any more forces out of this, and Goody is actually just going to GG out of the game. Wow, I've never seen a 4 Thor counterattack that end the game quite so quickly or in quite so dramatic a fashion. That was pretty incredible. So it looks like Goody was planning for a timing attack, but the 2 Thors from the little one came out just in time to be able to save him. I'm not quite sure why he was going for a Thor heavy build. I guess it was to deal with a siege tank push, and very good control on the part of the little one up here, and he was able to fry the Marines, use the Thors to target fire the siege tanks, and then the attack just went away. After the siege tanks were gone, they were the major damage dealers, and, you know, to Thors, they don't even deal that much damage because there's no splash involved. So, and then the counterattack, you know, was just way too deadly. Goody only had 1 factory, again, producing, so he ended up being taken out very rapidly. Very interesting game, definitely enjoyed it, and we'll see if we see more Thor pushes in the future. This is, moving on to game number 4. This is PGL Milncraft, signing off.